Hi everyone, welcome to the second how-to video for your informative essay. This video is going to be probably the most important task you have to do with this essay, and that is how to write your paragraphs. Those 3 body paragraphs where you have to talk about the 3 topics. This is going to show you what they need to have in them. So I'm starting out looking at my informative essay roadmap. And I'm looking at this box right here that has a CER paragraph poster. So if you haven't looked at that yet, I want you to click on it and take a look, because this little infographic thing is showing you what a CER paragraph is. We call it a CER because it stands for claim, evidence, reasoning. That is basically the formula for writing these body paragraphs. You start with a claim, you back it up with evidence, and then you give some reasoning. And we're going to spend this video talking about what that means. So you can look through this on your own and make sure you read it, but I wanted to make sure I point out to you these important points right here of what each thing is. A claim, state a direct response to the question or the prompt. I'm going to show you what that is in a minute. Evidence is information that supports whatever sentence you said in your claim. And then your reasoning is that you're explaining how that evidence supports the claim. Like, what do these 2 things even have in common? So, and then there's more information down at the bottom. So please make sure you read through that, but I'm going to show you right now kind of what that's talking about. So you were filling out this informative essay outline, and chances are you were kind of confused about what you needed to do with this topic sentence box and this reasoning box. So this is going to show you what you need to have there. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So your quotes as evidence box is pretty self-explanatory. What you need to look for in your article or whatever it is that you were using as your mentor text, so if you got it from a website, for example, you needed to find a quote, so a sentence from the text that explains what causes this type of fear. So in my class, we found that there were 2 quotes there. That there was this first quote from the diver. Oh, by the way, I'm focusing on choking under pressure is every athlete's worst nightmare. So if you're doing the same as me, these are the quotes I used. If you're doing a different one, you're going to have to do this on your own and figure out which quotes will work. But as far as evidence goes for this article, what causes this type of fear, we found these 2 quotes here. One from the Olympic diver where she was talking about how she realized her nerves were caused. And then another one, another quote right here. So it was easier for us to start with those quotes. Then we're looking at topic sentence next. So the topic sentence is going to be your claim. And then that is the first sentence that's introducing what your whole paragraph is all about. So if I'm going to jump over right now to the sample essay that Ms. Rubino wrote, her topic sentence is, ophidiophobia has several causes. And that is like a pretty simple topic sentence or a claim, and that's a really good one to use. So what I tried to do was model my example after that. And I said, choking under pressure is caused by the athlete not facing the fear directly, and also by the athlete focusing too much on the outcome and not the present. If I wanted to keep it really, really simple, it's also okay if I just said, choking under pressure has 2 main causes. That's a really simple topic sentence. Either of those will work. This one is a little bit more in detail and a little stronger, but you get to decide which one you want. The most important thing is that you just have a topic sentence. Topic sentence and claim are pretty much the same thing. It's just stating what your entire essay is going to be about. After you have given that topic sentence, that is when you introduce your quote as evidence. And you can't just go from this sentence to a quote. You've got to have some transition words in between. Like if we look at the sample essay, you can see she included, first of all, scientists report that humans are programmed, blah, 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 blah. And then she included the quote. So you as a writer have to include those transition words to set up your quote to make it make sense. If it's a person speaking, that's really easy because you can say, in the article, Choking Under Pressure, Every Athlete's Worst Nightmare, Laura Wilkinson said, blah, 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 blah. Your teacher, me, or your teacher, if you're in another class watching this, can give you some more pointers about how to do this in class a little better, but give it a try on your own and see how it goes. But the most important thing is you need a transition between this and this, or between the claim and the evidence. And then after you do that, there comes reasoning. So, excuse me. So reasoning is basically you saying, how does this quote you put right here, what does it have to do with this topic? So if you had to explain to someone in your own words, why do you choose that topic? This is what you would tell them. For mine, my reasoning was these athletes, these two quotes here, learned that the cause of their fears was trying to avoid them thinking about the reasons why they were afraid in the first place, as well as focusing too much on the possible outcomes instead of what they needed to do in the moment. That's what my explanation of these two quotes were here. So I'm saying, what does this quote have to do with this topic in my own words? Let's look at the sample essay. So you can see she has her claim, right? She has her evidence that she included with some transitions. And then look at her reasoning right here. In other words, this phobia has its roots in basic survival instinct that kept humans alive, blah, 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 blah. That's her reasoning right there. She's putting this quote in her own words and talking about what it has to do with the topic, what's the cause. And then down a little further, she ends that paragraph with a reasoning. While there are many causes of phobia, the symptoms are similar in all the people who have it. So it's saying it in her own words. It's super tricky to write a CER paragraph, but if you keep this in mind, that it has to have a claim, it has to have evidence, and it has to have reasoning, then you can get help with those parts. The reasoning part needs probably the most help because it's tricky to put these quotes in their own words. But you can probably think of a topic sentence and you can use this sample essay as your guide. If you need to come back to this video, watch it as many times as you need to, and please ask your teacher for help with this part.